Were you, or were you not, on a gay cruise?
No, you're 120% dick pic.
Everybody that age, they're sperminator.
Yeah.
We don't care about anything else. We're a walking hard on looking for a hole.
That's. I have to say you're right on that one. Oh, my God.
A stiff breeze comes through the room and you return the favor.
Gonorrhea. Oh. Somewhere on the outside of this building, there is a hole where squirrels come in.
Better than a hole where dicks come in.
Yeah, better than that.
Going down the stairs to wash the laundry. What the hell? Shh. Pizza. Stop! Stop it now! I order you to stop! I'm still touching myself.
Yeah!
All young bitches want to do is pop pills, smoke weed, get drunk, lay around, suck dick, eat hot Cheetos, charge they phone, get a sew and weave, twerk, be bisexual, eat McDonald's, wash they pussy in the sink, lie, take selfies, and talk shit through Wi-Fi because they phone never on.
I think washing they pussy in the sink is my favorite part. The Vietnamese trade in dongs. Figuratively and literally, I'm sure.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
I did decide to look it up. 500,000 dongs is a good night for Pop's ex.
Like most women, he's an emotional thinker.
Good God.
I mean, that's part of the problem we're having now in our society is we have a bunch of emotional thinkers that want the world to, to fall in line with their emotions. It's not. Look, reality doesn't give a shit about emotions.
It's my lived truth. Fuck your lived truth.
No, it's not. It's your perspective.
Kiss my ass.
Literally like, hey, Sergeant Pop, you got to turn your bear suit. I'm like, over my dead body. No. Just give me a statement of charges. Yeah. You're never getting this back. Yeah. You can suck it.
I'm going to wear this with my Russian coat.
you will bury me in this. Hey! Why you gotta fucking be like that, man?
Because I'm an asshole, and I learned from the best. I'm sitting across from him, and I'm pointing at you with all four fingers.
All right, first of all, the Russian jacket is World War II surplus.
I'll send you a picture of it, Sarge.
Yeah, okay. I
got you standing wearing it with holding two giant buckets like you just collected all the chum from behind the dump dumpster at the bar, and you're going to go home and make ice cream out of it.
What's up, savages? Boy, do we have a show for you today. Riddle me this. Where can you fail 15 to 21 years of audits and doing your job and still get promoted and keep your job? How about the Pentagon and the Department of Defense? Once we go into the numbers of exactly just how loony this entire thing is, you're going to realize why the deep state doesn't want attention or eyeballs in their crap because they are so upside down and so corrupt. Money has been hemorrhaging out of the Department of Defense, the Pentagon, and our government at breakneck speeds with virtually no accountability. Now, I don't know about you, but I really don't remember giving permission for my government to go 36 to 38 trillion dollars in debt. And let's just be honest, once you get to those stupid big numbers like that, are you really going to be accurate? I would have to say no. We have whole fleets of ships wallowing in harbor and dry dock, rotting away. We have military equipment disappearing in Afghanistan. We've got billions of dollars going overseas to Israel and the Ukraine, which it's a whole separate issue. But in my, looking back on it, nobody ever gave our government permission to just give away our money like that. And at the end of the day, we are going to be held holding the bag. Now, I think it's about time we start holding people's feet to the fire. And guess what? You lose $14 billion, you spend the rest of your life in prison. It's about time we started playing hardball with these people who have been fast and loose with the rules for I don't even know how long. We've got alphabet agencies spying on the president, spying on virtually everyone in this country who has a slave box attached to their body. And quite literally, your privacy just went up in goddamn smoke 20 years ago. We need accountability, and we need to start digging into these numbers. So get ready. Make sure you have something to drink. Maybe it might need to have some alcohol in it, because I can almost guarantee everyone tuning in tonight is going to get spun the fornication up. I'm trying to cut down on the swearing for the first 20 minutes to avoid the algorithms and such. Anyway, we got Battle Dwarf in the house, and hopefully somewhere around 9:20 we'll have evil button-pushing monkey showing up on the scene. So let us begin.
Evil button-pushing monkey is evil wrench-turning monkey at this hour. That's his new gig.
I know.
Well, it's not his new gig. He's got a new gig, but it's his old gig.
It's the old gig, but it's a new gig. Also, I went to the post office box today.
Oh, yeah.
And I got
your
your mail here. Now, I'm not going to...
No. Do that.
All right,
Hey, wait before you start running your suck.
Okay.
If you'll notice behind Pop, between the guitar and the chalkboard, we have the first Christmas card there. So if you really want to bother Pop, let's send him a whole shitload of Christmas cards so we could decorate the chalkboard with Christmas cards like we used to decorate the fridge when we were kids. It'll be fun.
We have a letter here from Miss Chris from Worcester, Massachusetts. And it is written in print, so I will read it. Not here on the show, but I will read it. Here's
Nice.
the top here, and then I have side notage. It's almost as effective as side boob, but that's a whole different animal. All right. We got another one from West Haven, Utah. No name on it. I've already read the letter. Thank you.
All right.
A lot of these came with cash and checks, and I really appreciate all of that. It's going to go in the bank in probably a week or two.
All of that, by the way, is going into new Redonkulas Regiment programming that Pop and I are spinning up here probably after the start of the new year.
And this one's from Kingsbury, Texas. I got a little note with that. Not going to read it on the air. Some of these are very personal. I appreciate everything. And yeah. Again, this guy's thanking me for the work I do keeping people above ground. This next one here, this one was certified.
We need to go to the box more often, dude.
Yeah, I know. And this one is from Worcester, Maryland. And this is another card. Thank you very much. This one doesn't have the sound effects in it. But it is what it is. Okay. This one here is from a Mr. Ward from Browntown, Michigan. He's just downriver.
Brownstown. I had
Yeah.
an aunt live down there for quite a while.
And the best I can do for now, and I'll make up it with further deposit. Best regards. Thank you, Mr. Ward.
Thanks, man.
All right. This next one here is from Sluis from Bellevue, Washington. Oh, there's a couple ladies from Bellevue I banged back in the day.
Ruh-roh.
All right.
Are we going into details here?
No. This is another note which has been printed so I can read it. And
yeah, printing helps.
they want more paranormal stories, so I will see what I can do for that. Listen, I am a big fan of the paranormal, not when it's in my own house, which it is now, but it is what it is. This one is from another individual named Chris. Okay, this one here is a pretty long manuscript. It's printed.
Wow.
I will get into it. I read all the stuff I get if it's in print.
Can confirm he has always read everything everybody sends to him.
Yes.
As for the paranormal stories, we're getting to the point now where we experience less of them and are more likely to become one of them.
Yes. So if you guys have paranormal stories, please, write them up and send them to us. And when we do our next paranormal craziness, we'll cover it. This is another one. Oh, I love this one. Body piercing by U.S. Army Rangers, which I have participated in.
You should put that on.
All right, now this one here is
card.
just absolutely devastating. This one came in this fancy.
It's a big envelope.
Mr. Carson, Madison, Minnesota. But this goes along with my box wine and Catland because it comes with its own little cat.
Oh, look at that.
And I can add stuff to the cat.
You can decorate the cat. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I could really, really jazz this stuff up here. This is pretty funny.
So that cat is going to have to make its way into a video. We will do some green screen cat shots that we can add to various things. I think that would be a nice touch.
And this is a letter from him, which I appreciate. Yep. Not going to read it on the air because some of these letters have personal writings in them and doesn't say expressly read on air, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, if you want it read on the air, say so.
Yes, and I'm going to go get a box that came in. It's just around the corner. Give me a second.
Hang on 1 second. Yeah, well, Pop's grabbing that box. Really, he reads all of this stuff. Every time he's gotten new stuff, he's always read it. He's been showing me things for years and years now, man.
All right. So this is your standard care package I get from individuals. I'm not going to say the person's name, but I got rifle cleaning patches.
Always handy.
WD-40.
Critical item.
Honey, we're going to make mead out of that.
Going to make black meat out of that one.
I have a bag of fat pills.
Fat
I have engine and gas stuff.
Yeah. Winter's coming.
Hops. This is gun oil. You can never have enough of that.
Oh, is that hops gun oil?
Yes.
Oh.
And then I have hops number 9, which is the bore cleaner, takes the copper out.
Oh, okay.
And then I always get this, I get this in flexi cuffs. It's like a kidnapping kit sometimes.
you never know when you're gonna.
I guess
it's to roll 100-mile-an-hour tape, right?
Awesome.
Well, you need that though. Everybody needs 100-mile-an-hour tape.
Correct. All right. And I got a little note in this, not going to read it. Personal stuff.
Yeah.
But listen, every little bit helps. I appreciate everything you guys do and you send in. I really do. I'm in the business to keep guys above the ground as long as possible. I can't do anything about illnesses or, having mishaps with Murphy and fate. But hopefully when the loneliness and despair, hopelessness shows up in the middle of the night, which it always does, and you're thinking about the permanent solution to a temporary problem, tune into my shit, get some laughs. If you have no hope, build some with laughter and navigate yourself the fuck out of that darkness that you're in. That is why we do what we do here. All right. Let me put this away. I'll be right back.
While Pop's doing that, I am gonna cue up the thing here so we can get started on our fun with money. Are you just gonna put it down?
It's right there on the side. It's fine.
Hey, that's fine. That'll do. So everybody knows the UN. Well, here is a reality for you with the United Nations. It was created in response to the dissolution of what was called the League of Nations.
Because that worked out so well.
Right. And the League of Nations was dissolved because it degenerated into a bunch of petty bureaucrats stealing money and generally trying to force communism on other countries. So they dissolved the League of Nations and made the UN in 46, I believe.
Right after World War II.
Yes, and their first act was to approve the creation of Israel, which is a whole other story, whole different thing.
Another show.
But yeah, totally different show. But that was essentially their first real act. Now, the United Nations is funded by all of the member nations. And per usual, because for some reason our nation is full of suckers, criminals, thieves, vagabonds, and other assorted scum, the United States pulls in 22% of the funding for the United Nations. The closest other country is China.
Oh, really?
Which means everybody else is look at the numbers here: 2.4, 2.7, 2.2, 1.3.
Yeah.
Denmark 0.5.
All right, now let's just talk about this. All right, United States is flipping the bill for 25% of the United Nations.
Yeah.
All right, the other countries
Yep.
in the United Nations are basically coasting on our coattails.
Yes.
And the money that China is investing, into the UN, let's face it, they're building a military to go directly against the United States. They're stealing our technology by hook or by crook. We have their agents permeating all over this country.
That's true.
And we need to hunt them down, throw them in jail, and hold them all accountable. Just saying. All right.
I'm okay with deportation with a short stop at the Mariana Trench in the Atlantic Ocean.
Well, if you are stealing military secrets and you get caught, you should probably pay a pretty steep price.
Are you familiar with the Mariana Trench?
I sure am.
Deepest crack in the face of the earth.
Yeah. The ball of mud slinging through space that we're all riding on.
Good detention center.
It is. You become dirt compliant.
Yeah. It is a high pressure aqueous facility.
Yes.
Specially suited for detention.
Yeah.
Long term.
Yes, that's right. You become permanently dirt compliant.
Yes. So anyway, that's the United States paying 22% of the UN's budget, and the people of the United States get exactly nothing from this.
No.
You get
no. They get fuck all.
That's true.
Yeah.
They
are getting
also
something.
That's also true. They also get the meat missile in the exhaust port.
Yes, they do. Not pleasant.
Yeah.
No.
Seriously, it does nothing. The UN does absolutely nothing for the United States of America. Pop and I, with our combined military experience, we've run across these ass bags. I worked for a UN command for a short while, for about 8 months when I was in Korea. They're all ass bags. I should have let that private bang the Danish ambassador's daughter. Diplomatic incident.
Yeah, I banged a colonel's daughter.
This was an international incident. I had to tell
This
the
was
poor
a
guy.
Canadian
Yeah.
commander. So it was.
Oh, you had that's not really. But what year was that?
That was 87.
That's not really an international incident.
Nah.
Because the Canadians were basically our.
Wow,
shop.
he was so mad about it. You could have thought he was having an international incident.
It doesn't matter though. 'Cause
Nothing illegal happened.
at the time, Canada was basically our Quickie Mart.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, we used to go over the bridge for lunch.
Or the full nude ballet.
I never partook of that because I figured out right away that I'm throwing money at a woman that I'm never ever even going to be able to touch.
Yeah, you're paying restaurant prices to simply look at the menu. I got it.
Yes, that has never done the trick for me.
I know. I'm just saying.
It works for the United States, though. We throw money hand over fist at every whore in town and still get nothing. That's basically the UN
Yes.
in a nutshell. So the United Nations is supposed to be about peace and harmony in the world and getting everybody to get along and bringing everybody to the table. That's what the United Nations is for, to bring everybody to the table to talk. It's basically a gentleman's club to discuss shit.
And it rapidly devolved.
It has no governmental power.
No, but by the time Vietnam kicked off, the UN had gone off the rails.
Yes, 1953 was Dien Bien Phu, and then by 1962, when we got involved, that's when the UN started to pretend that it had actual governmental powers of any kind.
And I really think the Korean War was a wake up for the UN. And they're like, what the hell is going on here? That's
insane. Only 3 years after their creation.
I know. But the thing is they got created. The Korean War kicked off, and everyone and their mother participated in that one.
Yes.
But when the Vietnam kicked off, only a few countries did, not the whole UN.
Yeah, that's true. There were forces from Ethiopia in the Korean War. At the Korean War Memorial, there's a wall full of plaques of the different nations that participated.
Yep.
And Ethiopia is on there. I'm trying to figure out what they fielded. I'm imagining it wasn't more than a battalion or two.
Yeah, but the UN was trying to stop communism for the Korean War. And by the Vietnam War, that had pretty much dissolved.
Was pushing communism.
Yes. And now they're straight up pushing.
Now they're straight up communists at all. This is an article in the Cairo Review. Now, for those of you unfamiliar, there are still a lot of expats who live in Egypt, many of them English, and they still have their own papers and everything there. Looking backward into the future, why the United Nations has failed to prevent genocide. At its root, genocide is committed through a lack of empathy and has failed to be prevented by a lack of political will. It's time to reverse these failings by rethinking our systems and challenging our assumptions. This is part of an essay delivered by Dr. Stanton in April of this year. Where he spoke out at Educator Institute for Human Rights, the Alliance Against Genocide, and the International Association of Genocide Scholars. Look, there haven't been very many real genocides.
Rwanda.
Okay. Rwanda was real close.
That was a bad one.
Yep.
Then we have what happened.
Cambodia.
Oh, yeah.
Arguably China. They killed everybody from a certain group.
Yeah. And this is the best part, is they put some Chinese individuals in the committee in the UN against genocide.
Yes.
Like for human rights.
Yeah. The Holodomor.
Yeah.
Where the Russians massacred. Then there was the Turks.
The Turks
massacring the Armenians.
Oh, yeah, that was like 1.8 Christians were put to the sword.
Yeah.
And what about what's that other one that just happened in the Balkans after the Soviet Union fell?
Oh gosh,
I don't remember the name.
I forget that, but I knew a lot of guys who went over to that.
No, my old A team went over there.
Oh, okay. Your ODA went?
My ODA went over there, but I left the unit because they moved it from Selfridge to Chicago.
Right.
And I wasn't gonna.
You weren't gonna have.
I'm not doing an 8-hour drive.
That's fine.
So I went to another paratrooper unit. Went to Company F425.
There you go.
But one of my, another 18 Bravo, who later became a major, took a commission, became a major, went down there, and then he came back and decided to resign his commission and become a sergeant first class. So he was sergeant major. It was insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Somebody says Serbia.
Serbia, that's it.
Serbia is the one that we're
Yeah.
looking for there. Yeah, that is correct.
And again, that was a Muslim Christian thing, just like Turkey was a Muslim Christian thing.
Those get overlooked all of the time. But basically, the UN was created, the UN General Assembly was created and passed the International Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of Genocide in 1948, basically in response to the events of World War II. Now, it says here that was directly related, but the idea of a genocide in World War II doesn't really crop up until the late 50s and doesn't become commonplace until the late 60s. I'm not just spouting things off the top of my head. I have a whole slew of books written from 1917 to 1968, which is where I researched all of this stuff. Okay, the actual books, so you can't go and change it on the interwebs on me. Since its founding, the UN has been crippled by the veto of 5 permanent members of the Security Council. The colonial era had not ended by 1945. The colonial era didn't end until around 1958. There were still a lot of colonies out
I thought it was 62.
There might have been some, but the era, there might have been some colonies still around by 62, but the whole era of everybody has colonies.
Yeah, because they had the whole Rhodesian, fight.
There was
Zimbabwe,
Rhodesia, there was Belgium, there was Algeria,
Germany,
Libya,
some Spain,
whole bunch of different places.
Yep.
Anyway, the most powerful nation, the United States, wanted to maintain its military and economic dominance. These 5 nations insisted on having vetoes the Security Council, the only UN body with the power to authorize the use of military force. Even if one of the P5 vetoes a decision, the United Nations cannot authorize military intervention anywhere in the world. So we're paying for 22% of this, which is why I'm bringing the UN up at all. Because that's your tax dollars. I don't recall voting to join the UN. I don't recall voting to give the UN military powers, let alone the use of U.S. troops.
And here's another thing the UN wants to do. They want to disarm the United States because it's
badly
threat to the rest of the world.
Badly. They very much want to disarm.
No. The United States is the last bastion of freedom, true freedom. Like in England, they say they're free, but they're not. You make a bad tweet, an offensive Facebook post, and the police come knocking on your door. That's not freedom. That's subservience.
Many of the members of the UN, particularly at the staff levels, and this is also true of the United States Congress and many of our states as well, now all attend the Young Leaders School for the WEF.
Yep.
Which is essentially where they get their marching orders from. I don't know how true this is in other nations. I'm sure it's very true, at least in Western nations. This is how they've subjugated us. They don't need to take specifically our leaders.
They just start corrupting
They take the bureaucratic class.
Yeah.
The people who are actually writing the stuff.
And they dumb down the youth.
Yes.
If you don't teach,
that's a huge.
If you don't teach the youth about history or how the government works, then you can literally get steamrolled. That we need to fix our education system at the
very
bottom.
A couple of years back,
but that's another show.
It is. A couple of years back, I actually tried to start doing that. I was reading classical literature online and histories, and it started to get a pretty good reaction. And then there were some events about 2 years ago, including me losing my nice cushy bank job where I worked from home. That didn't help.
No.
At any rate, I could no longer do that. But one of these days, I'd really love to start doing that up again and getting some actual serious homeschoolish stuff going. So that's basically the UN of what the UN is about, and we pay 22% of that. Here's the Korean part of it that you mentioned. 1950, North Korea, with Soviet support, invaded South Korea. Watch this at 0510 hours. The first train came into Uijeongbu on the 25th of June of 1950. I know this specifically because I actually have managed to have coffee with, he's now passed away, General Paek Sun-yup, who was MacArthur's counterpart from the very first day of the war all the way to the end. So I got to hear some pretty cool stories from that dude. During the USSR's absence, the United States, the United Kingdom, and France pushed through the creation of a UN force to intervene in Korea. And that's where they managed to get around the Soviet votes. So you were right. That's where the UN first got its taste of
Real war.
holy shit.
Yeah. And they're like,
But this is also where they subsumed the powers of being able to declare war. The UN basically has given itself the power to declare war.
but here's the thing. You started this whole thing about fighting genocide.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now,
No, the UN started it. That's why it was created.
yeah,
That's
it was
why
created to stop genocide, but they literally don't.
They cause more than they start.
Like in Rwanda,
Mhm.
I mean, we had, I think that was what we had, Executive Solutions, which was a mercenary company in the beginning trying to, stop a lot of that bullshit.
Yep.
And everyone got all offended. You can't use mercenaries.
The South Africans were heavily into the mercenary
Yeah,
game
but
in
the thing
80s.
is, they called on the UN. They took forever to get spun up. They cost an absolute fortune. There was no coordination on the ground. They could not fight or do anything in a coordinated, decisive manner. And was it 1.8 million people just got hacked to death
Well, the UN stood around. One of the biggest
with their
problems.
thumb up their ass? Yeah.
One of the biggest problems with the UN forces is you get multinational
Yeah.
in there, and this country refuses to take orders from this country, and then that country refuses to take orders from this country, and so on and so forth.
Listen, when I got
They won't
sent,
cooperate.
I got sent to Sinai, Egypt in '87, and I was
Right start.
lividly pissed because I had listed in the United States Army not to be whored out to the UN.
There you were.
Yeah, and there you are. Of course,
Did you
I was
ever have
just
to wear a blue helmet?
no. I had the tan MFO beret.
Oh, here you go.
So I've technically worn all of the berets that the United States Army, has. There you go.
Nice. You don't have the new pink Space Force beret though.
No. I did put an application trying to get in Space Force, and the equivalent. It was the equivalent of them laughing me off the stage.
Nice. So that's the UN in a nutshell. I could go on and on about their failures, but I think that would be overkill. Let's move on to the NATO organization, which is even better.
Yeah, the NATO.
Yeah.
Mhm.
North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
We have been entered into all kinds of goddamn treaties that nobody voted for and nobody even knows about.
Yes.
All right. What kind of shit is that? Our leadership is supposed to represent us as a republic, not enslave us and make decisions that our children, grandchildren, and so forth are going to have to deal with.
Look,
Fuck off.
Treaties and alliances have always been a part of the human experience. Ever since they figured out that we can make a kingdom here and a kingdom here, but if we team up, we can beat this kingdom over there. Okay, treaties and alliances have always been there.
And
What's
how many of them
unique here-
actually in the long run work? I'll wait. Yeah. Okay.
Evil hairless monkeys.
You got it.
So, how much is each NATO country spending on its military in 2024? Of course, you're going to know who's spending the most. The 32 members of the world's most powerful military alliance will spend $1.47 trillion this year, 2024. Of course, all of that's coming from the United States. Oh, look.
Oh, look. Yeah.
Number of allies meeting 2% defense spending. They're expected to spend 2% of their defense budget on NATO, if you're a member of NATO.
Yep.
Just over 2/3 of NATO members, 23 of 32, have fulfilled the 2% commitment. Oh, well, gosh, there's a shock.
Yep.
NATO was founded in 1949 by 12 member states: Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Iceland, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, the United Kingdom, and, of course, the United States of America. NATO is celebrating its 75th anniversary.
Yep.
by 12 nations in 2024. The military alliance had grown to 32 members. They're trying to bring Ukraine in. That has not happened yet. With Sweden being the most recent member this year. How much does each NATO member spend? Did you vote to give money to NATO? I mean, we just discussed the UN, but now you're also giving money to NATO.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I don't remember that.
Well, in February, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said in 2024, NATO allies in Europe will invest a combined total of $380 billion in defense. For the first time, this amounts to 2% of their combined GDP. The United States remains the world's largest military spender by far. In dollar terms, the United States represents about 2/3 of NATO countries' annual defense spending at an estimated $967 billion. I'll bet you could build a fucking wall with that.
Yeah, we need to. This is a bad deal all the way around, and we need to get the hell out of it. All right. I mean, we are getting, we're getting played.
Yeah,
we're getting played, man.
Yeah.
This is, the numbers are here. Anyone can find these numbers. This is open source information.
All of it.
And nobody gives a goddamn shit about it. This is insane.
Yeah.
I hope if Trump can get in office, I hope he just cuts the fucking cord on these people. Yeah. I mean, how much is Germany spending?
Well, we'll find out here in a minute.
All right.
But I can tell you right now that 3.4% of your economy goes into NATO. This is all going to lead up to a point a little later on in the show where you're all going to shit yourself and get really angry. And then over time, I'm going to tell you some other stuff too. Not on this show, but later on.
Cannot wait.
I want to get you really spun the fuck up, though. Because
that's fun.
There will be things. The next 4 top spenders in dollar terms are Germany.
Mm-hmm.
How much do we spend?
What, 96 billion or something?
967 billion.
Wow, almost $1 trillion.
So the next 4 top spenders are Germany at 97 billion. Well, 98 billion, which is how much of a percentage of basically 970?
It's 10 to 11%.
Yeah. The UK spends 82 billion, France 64 billion, and Poland 34 billion. The infographic below shows the ratio of NATO's military spending by the US compared to all other NATO members. All other NATO members.
Wow.
Is the purple across the top of that graph there. See the graph there?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. Below that is the US. We're shelling out for all of that.
And what are we getting in return? Oh, that's right. We're getting nothing.
Yeah, we are dead soldiers.
Yeah, we're sending our
How many of our fucking brothers come back in bags in NATO missions?
Yeah, I mean, this is bullshit. And a lot of these countries are using our old military equipment that we gave them.
Yeah.
For what's that called when we just give money to other countries for no apparent reason?
Foreign assistance.
Yes, it's basically
we give them the equipment and then we give them money too. We give them the money to buy the equipment.
So we give them the money in foreign assistance that they could spend on NATO. I mean, it's such a goddamn 3-shell Monty fraud.
Yeah,
this needs to stop.
Mm-hmm. Basically, our country is just being bled dry.
Yes.
Look, I know other countries are paying into this. I don't care. I don't care about other countries. Look, I know we got viewers in other countries out there, but you should care as much about your country as I care about mine. I'm not saying don't care about your country. I'm saying care about your country. I'm over here caring about mine.
America.
Okay, we each unfuck our own backyard first.
Correct.
Okay, that's the goal here. We each unfuck our own backyard, then we can talk. So Poland is spending 4.12% of its GDP, which is admirable, except that only amounts to 34 million. Whereas the U.S. is spending 3.37 or 3.4% of its GDP, and that amounts to $900.
It's almost $1 trillion.
Yeah.
That's almost $1 trillion. And we can't afford this. We're 36 to 38 trillion in debt. If we stop sending money to every country in the world, we stop funding NATO and the UN, shut down the WEF,
Yes.
we can literally pay our national debt down quite a bit in a decade. We're not getting anything for it other than drama.
Yeah.
And we're filling body bags with our own people.
Yep.
Fuck off. This is bullshit. And I know people are like, well, Pop's a warmonger. He doesn't believe in peace. I believe in peace, but I also fucking believe in war. I've seen both.
Pop and I have both said this. Nobody who has ever been in a battle zone and seen a war wants war. The difference here is if you leave me no choice, expect nothing but war.
Correct.
That's the difference. I'd like the choice. I just want to freaking, I've said this a million times on this show. I just want to be left alone to raise my damn chickens.
Yeah, I know. And
literally all I want.
And in the Ukraine right now, we've got, the dictator-in-chief authorized Ukraine to fire long-range missiles into Russia proper.
Now, let's be realistic. Biden didn't authorize
I know he
didn't
didn't.
do shit. Guy can barely eat a cupcake without supervision.
Correct.
So United States bureaucrats in our government authorized those ATACMs.
If Trump gets in there and he finds out who authorized that, they should be tried for sedition or treason.
Heads on pikes.
Yeah. Okay.
Figuratively speaking.
Okay. We can't go down the violent road.
That's not going down the violent road. I'm talking about the metaphor of the heads on the pikes.
But the thing is we have a huge bureaucratic monster running this country and has been doing it for about half of a century, and no one's been able to do anything about it.
Yeah.
It needs to be fixed. Otherwise, we're going to wind up with World War III. Hell, let's just go all the way to World War fucking IV.
We're really close to World War III right now because of that ATACMS launch.
Yeah.
And by the way, all 6 of our ATACMS, 5 were shot down and 1 apparently impacted with no real result. So that's our super high-tech ATACMS that the Russian air defense, which is very built up because the Russians actually believe in freaking building up their own military to protect their own soil.
Correct.
So their ADF is, on point. That they have. They have always had ADF in depth.
Well,
air defense, by the way.
Yeah.
ADF.
Listen, if I'm a firm believer in defense in depth and ablative defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and Russia's old school.
Yep.
Ground and pound, and I would expect nothing less from them.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't have anything against the Russians.
No,
I like the Russians. I like the Ukrainians. They have hot chicks. The vodka is awesome.
Bulgarian chicks are hot.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, why are we fighting these fucking people? It's so stupid.
Because little weaselly turtleneck and soft loafer wearing chocolate fondue eating faggots in Brussels are telling us that we have to fight them.
Yes, and that's another problem that we need to get to the bottom of. We need to cut the head off the snake. And
Didn't we Declaration of Independence once already? Why are we doing this?
I know, but the thing is we have a world full of billionaires that want to have more power and more money, and are buying our politicians, bribing people to make this shit fucking possible. And listen, we need to put an end to it one way or another.
This is a non-actionable observation on my part.
Okay.
I am shocked that one of those billionaires hasn't met with misfortune in a graphic manner.
Correct.
I'm shocked.
These things happen.
Yep. Again, non-actionable, objective observation. Holy ass baggery, Batman. So this is the GDP expenditures, and it looks like Poland and Estonia spend more, but you have to consider that their GDPs are not all that big. Estonia is a tiny little country, but there's some tough little shits.
Yeah.
The Estonians held their own in World War II, and I mean held their own. You don't hear about any U.S. troops rolling in to save Estonia.
No.
They held their own. Oh, man. So flip over to here. Does that not go up? That doesn't go up. NATO spending by country. You can just see this. These are the NATO countries, and we carry the brunt of it. Germany pays 4% of their GDP by this graphic here, but do they really? I mean, how much of that is really, truly,
Yeah.
How much is that? Minimum required defense spending by NATO countries. Poland is 3.9. We just went over all of these there. Little Estonia, for its size, shells out quite a bit. Top NATO countries with the highest defense expenditures by total U.S. dollars. United States, 860. I'm guessing that's millions of dollars.
This is a lot of money.
Look at this. Where does all of this money go? What net value does any of this have? All of this money, we're looking at these huge freaking numbers here from all of these different countries. What value has been produced by NATO?
All right. This is the value we got for our money. We got invaded by migrants.
Yep.
Germany got invaded by migrants.
That's specifically the United Nations, and I can prove that.
The UK.
We did a show on that. Yep.
Just
Ireland.
I mean, France.
Yeah.
All of Europe has been invaded by immigrants from other countries that, let's be honest, shouldn't be there.
Yep.
That's what you're getting for your money.
Yeah.
You're sending money over there because we want peace and prosperity. And in return, we're getting a wave or an invasion of meat. And we're going to have to spend an insane amount of money deporting those people out of this country.
Human carpet bombs. I've said this a million times. It's the weapon of choice for this war. We are in World War III right now in the West, and the weapon of choice is human carpet bombs. Okay, these people are such economically deprived immigrants that in Springfield, Ohio, where 3,000 Haitians showed up in a town of 6,000, guess what happened a couple of days after Trump won the election?
Murder.
No.
Huh.
All of those Haitians suddenly found it in themselves to go home.
Oh, good. I thought maybe
a whole bunch of them just unasked the AO.
Well, I mean, I was surprised there wasn't a lot more meetings with Murray Dar.
I am surprised also that there were not meat suit ejections galore.
I know.
But what did happen is a bunch of these supposed unfortunates who were seeking better lives suddenly found it in themselves to go, we should probably just go home. Bye.
Yeah, well, if I'm going to be
that's suspicious.
Honest here.
Yep.
If any of these migrants came here illegally in the past, 4 to 6 years.
Nope, I'm going back 60 years, but go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just saying 4, maybe 6 years. If you knew it was good for you, you would start leaving.
Yeah.
All right.
I would agree. Go.
Because what do you think is going to happen when if they crash this economy and then we have U.S. citizens starving because we gave the money to illegal immigrants? You're going to have a mob rule situation. And historically speaking, those are incredibly ugly, bloody, and it's just a boatload of merciless pain. I don't want to see that, but that's where we're going.
Yep.
We're throwing all of our goddamn money away. We are trusting leaders who are totally goddamn corrupt. And it's about time we figure it the fuck out and handle our business.
Yeah.
I'm getting spun. I can already feel my blood pressure.
I know, man. I hear you. I am doing my best to sit here and do breathing exercises while you rant.
I can't even do the fuck it thing. I love my country.
Yeah.
I have put everything on the line, and you have too.
Multiple times.
For this country.
Yep.
I have stepped out of a fucking aircraft that was getting shot at in the middle of the fucking night because the man at the top said, hey, we got to fucking do it. I'm like, okay, I signed the check. Let's do this.
Oh, that was Panama.
Yeah.
Yes, right. You forgot you guys were taking fire as you were coming in.
Yeah, we had a couple rounds come through the side of the bird. Somebody was yelling. I think he got hit. And I'm going to be honest, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm not jumping." And then I saw like 6 feet of fire coming off of one of the engines,
I'm getting out of there.
and I'm like, "Nope, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
And I had to pick up my roommate Christoph and carry his dead ass out the goddamn door.
I'm not
Fucker.
doing the carnival ride. You know, at the carnivals where you got the ducks that go by, and
Yeah.
you're like, ping, ping. No, I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Not doing the carnival ride. I'm getting.
It was a hail of bullets going through my parachute. You just tracers galore. Why I did not get hit, I do not know. I think it was divine intervention. I'm not going to go into too much
There's
detail.
all kinds of There's all kinds of stories of that.
Yeah,
kind of
there's
thing.
a lot of stuff that happened that night that I told the stories a long time ago, and I'm not going to rehash it because
Many
know.
stories to be had. Many
Yeah.
stories to be had.
sorry, we went
That's
off in
okay.
the weeds there.
That's all right. That's not a problem. So anyway, did I hit the? Yeah, okay, I did. Good. NATO is resourced through the direct and indirect contributions of its members. Did you hear that? The direct and indirect contributions of its members.
Mm.
So there are bills out there which go into budgets which fund NATO directly.
And then there's
And then there are, the shell game shit where we're going to put this bill here is for defense expenditures. And by defense expenditures, we mean these interests over here, which are actually, and it goes to the NATO.
This is exactly how this works.
We got a whole bunch of these M1 Abram A1s here, and we've got to make room for the new M1 A4s. So why don't we palletize these and send them to fuck all country and let them deal with them so we can spend yet more money to make more tanks that we don't fucking need. Fuck off. All right.
But, sir, they won't be able to pay for those tanks. We send them some money.
We'll write it off. Yeah.
We
We'll send them money that they can send back to us. Thus,
Yes.
the 3 shell Monty.
Yes. We literally send them the money to pay for the military equipment that they buy from us. That's how that works. I've seen that one too.
It's giving by another name.
Through direct and indirect contributions of its members. NATO's common funds are comprised of... Damn it, I hate that. I hit the surprise yawn.
I turned the heat down for you.
Thanks. Too much heat makes me sleepy.
Yeah, I know. You're a dwarf.
I am. NATO's common funds are composed of direct contributions to collective budgets and programs, which equate to only 3% of total Allied defense spending. Around 3.8 billion euros for 2024. These funds enable NATO to deliver capabilities and run the entirety of the organization and its military commands. Notice that paragraph right there is just word salad. It doesn't tell you anything about what they actually do. And then there's a whole list of all the contributions and how they go through these things. Some of this is interesting reading if you like this kind of stuff. All of the links are going to be...
Yeah, we're not here to read you word
At the
for
bottom.
word everything.
Yeah. Exactly. All of the reports are here. All the common funding resource plans. Everything is here. You can see where all of your money has gone for years and years. Strangely, there's nothing really here that says what NATO does or what benefit it gives to any of its members.
Yeah, I don't.
And on the NATO site.
So wait, you're saying it's a big money pit with no payoff at the end?
Maybe.
It's kind of like marriage today. You can break the contract on half of it and get rewarded for it.
Yeah, but with marriage, you're likely to at least get laid once or twice.
Maybe a kid or two out of it.
You're not even getting a blowjob out of this.
No, in fact, the United States is getting a socket blink job, and if you don't know what that is, that's the comic book
Meat
speak.
missile in the exhaust port.
No, that's the meat missile in the eye socket.
Oh,
Socket blink job.
skullfuggery.
Yes, that's
You're
what's happening
You're
to
engaging
us.
in skullfuggery. Yeah.
Yes. That's what's happening to the United States.
I understand. Where the North Atlantic Council, NATO's top political decision-making body, unanimously decides to engage in an operation or mission, there is no obligation for each and every member to contribute unless it is an Article 5 collective defense operation. What the fuck is wrong with me tonight? In which case, expectations are different. In all cases, NATO as an organization does not have its own armed forces.
Oh, yeah.
So allies commit troops and equipment on a voluntary basis.
Okay.
By this, they mean the United States and sometimes Britain and France.
And this is another thing, is we have so many bases all over the world. Why are we doing this again?
In this age of the ability to project power almost at will, there is no reason for any of our large bases overseas. I could see a listening post here, a radar post there,
Uh-huh.
or an attaché to a foreign government. Okay, this is normal behavior. But these huge bases or operational battalion and regiment sized elements in foreign countries.
Yep.
Or in the case of Japan, Korea, Germany, or I don't know, do we have any left? Where do we have any that size elements left? I think those are the three.
Italy.
That's just a couple of battalions, I think. At Vincenza and
there used to be a big one in Germany. I don't even.
173rd is there.
Mm-hmm.
173rd is there. We have a QRF there for AFRICOM, which was not called up during Benghazi.
Yeah, and okay, that's a whole.
Yeah,
I had rumor on the show. He was literally in the talk when that was going down. He heard all of the bullshit.
Yeah,
there were colonels getting relieved for cause because they're like, screw it, we're going there anyway.
Yeah, spin up the QRF. I heard all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I could prove in minutes that Hillary Clinton and all the rest knew what was going on in Benghazi within minutes if you could get me into an AFRICOM skiff. I know exactly what files to look in and where they are because that was their job.
Mm-hmm.
I was never AFRICOM. I was a different element, but that was literally our job, was that reporting.
Yeah.
So I know that she knew within minutes. And so did everybody on the National
Security She had a server in her bathroom, which was tapped into by China.
But she said she never heard about any of that stuff.
Yeah, bullshit. All right.
There's no way she didn't know.
Again, we need to start, bringing these people to heel.
Yeah.
I don't care if you did it 20 fucking years ago. Fuck you.
That I know of. There is no statute of limitation on treason.
I don't know.
I have never seen one, and I have looked at the law extensively.
Yeah, and here's another thing about the ambassador who got killed in Benghazi. He was raped
repeatedly
before he was killed. He didn't die of smoke inhalation.
Yep.
You want to know how I know this? I read the paper in Cairo.
Yep.
And there's a couple other papers in the area that really printed this shit with eyewitness statements in it.
Yes.
And
I saw
literally,
that often when I was overseas.
And we had MSNBC, CNN, and all of the major news media dumb it down to like, oh, he died of smoke inhalation and it's terrible. They were dragging him through the street when he was dead.
Yes.
All right. Again, we're going down a rabbit.
We're rabbit holing this evening.
But I'm getting so spun up because this is all a direct result of the fecklessness of NATO and the UN.
It all ties back to our money being siphoned out of our country.
Correct.
It all ties back to that. That's what enables these people to do all of these things, is the money being siphoned out of our country. It drains our power. It's like a freaking D&D energy drain spell.
Yeah.
Basically.
And we've had, 7 failed audits?
Yeah.
And they do an audit every 2 to 3 years?
Yes.
All right. So that goes back to, I would say all the way to 9/11 because they just failed the first audit just before the towers fell. I wonder why that happened.
I think that was planned well beforehand. You don't plan a mission of that size overnight.
No, that's a 5-year thing.
Yeah.
That's a 5-year op.
Yeah. That's when I hear people say, oh, it was the money from the Pentagon and blah, blah, blah. No, I'm sorry. That's unfortunately, I happen to know, you happen to know, that's not how an op that size works. It takes a long time to move those pieces.
Yeah. And listen, again, like if I was running the show, I would open all those servers, all those vaults. I would dig till I found the answers of who was involved in that. And I don't care if they're living in an assisted living home. You're going before, a tribunal and you're going to get what you get. I don't know. I'm just so disgusted right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of this relates to the national debt. But before we go there, I want to do something really quick. I want to bring up another tab real fast. Bear with me real fast.
All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do an announcement.
You do. Hang on.
Okay.
Hang on.
Yeah, we've been demonetized by all rhyme or reason basically since 2015 after the first ad apocalypse. We went from pulling down $5,000 to $8,000 a month in advertising revenue to sometimes as low as $600. Okay, this is not, this show does cost money. We do it on a shoestring budget.
Yeah.
Every little bit helps. And it just is what it is. The mainstream media has been feeding everyone a bunch of bullshit. In this show, you got a couple of veterans who have been there, done that, know the deal. We're both trained in intel. We know bullshit when we see it, and we just tell it to you straight. I have no tongue for lying nor deceit, but I want to keep doing this show well into my 60s, or at least till I was 65 and out plan. And to make that happen, we need the funds. So any little bit you can send that will help us out. Be much appreciated. Thank you.
And I just had the horrifying realization that I'm going to have to put up with your ass for another 10 to 20 years.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Sorry.
I love you, man. No homo. So before we get started, I want to read 18 U.S. Code Section 2383, Rebellion or Insurrection to you. Obviously is very short. Whoever incites, sets on foot, assists, or engages in any rebellion or insurrection against the authority of the United States or the laws thereof, or gives aid or comfort thereto, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both, and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. So, insurrection. Let's do this.
Well, they did. They
What?
supposedly convicted Trump.
That was projection and gaslighting.
Yes. Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
I've watched quite a bit of those videos.
Yep.
That took place on the Capitol in 2020. And there was some chicanery. And there was some,
Sure.
ass bags doing
Yep.
ass baggery. I gotcha.
Mhm.
But nobody showed up with guns. Nobody actually took any shots at cops, even though one of the protesters was executed point blank. And I would like to see that guy brought to justice. And we've had people thrown in jail, solitary confinement, without even being arraigned, coming up on 4 years. Everyone involved in that bullshit needs to basically face the same punishments, in my opinion.
So I bring up insurrection because at this point, it is clear that the majority of our federal government and many of our states have, and somebody says insurrection requires weapons being used. It does not actually. Are engaged in insurrection. They are destroying the United States through other means, and I suppose you could call the weapons their political power and the human carpet bombs and the siphoning of money. Those are all acts of war, and many of them, the demoralization and so on and so forth, that's standard SOF activity. That's standard PSYOPs activity. So they are all acts of war, and they are all weapons in their own way. PSYOP is definitely a weapon.
Yeah.
PSYOP is an incredibly effective weapon.
Correct.
There are classic examples. The Trojan horse, of course, was a PSYOP. The Ghost Army at Calais during the D-Day landings, that was a weapon. It was a PSYOP. It drew German forces away from Normandy over to Calais. There are dozens
which
of
was
examples of it.
ingenious.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are all weapons. This government is engaged in an insurrection. They just aren't using rifles and grenades to do so
Yet.
at this time. So now I want to show you the actual damage. Let's do some BDA, battle damage assessment. You're looking at photos, and they're very often really awful.
Well, the BDA that I've done in the past is you like show up with a camera,
dude,
and spray paint.
Oh, I was the recipient of your.
Yep.
Remember how we talked earlier about you were the recipient of my intelligence operations? I was the recipient of your BDA.
Yep.
So we did the clean BDA basically.
Yeah.
You had to do the dirty BDA.
We'd show up there.
Finish what you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like, all right, drag those together, take a picture, spray paint it. Next one. Can you find the? It's not all there. All right, just put what you got, spray paint it, picture.
Yeah, put that head there with the arm.
And then you take like if any phones, any bullshit goes in a bag, and you just drop it off. You give them the pictures. You write up your after action, and we're done with it. Then it's your job.
Right, and then I get all of those pictures, the video, the audio, the hard drives, any materials, documents, etc. And we would go through all of that and use that to paint the bigger picture of what was going on in the area. One of the most famous incidents was one of our commanders when we very first went into Afghanistan. One of the Ranger bats was in there. And I don't know which one it was because I wasn't there. I heard this story at BNOC later on. One of our commanders told the Rangers to go into this area, this town, and collect as much intelligence as they could get.
Oh,
and the Ranger commander says, "What's our RO? What's our ROE?
engagement?
What's our ROE?"
Mm-hmm.
Our commander said, "Well, I guess if they shoot at you, shoot back," which you never tell a Ranger battalion to do because
that's what you're going to get.
Went in there and somebody shot at them, and the Rangers basically leveled everything and came back with like a hard drive and an arm. Here you go. Don't tell the Rangers to just shoot back. You need to be very specific.
Well, there's a reason why Delta Force uses airborne Rangers as their outer cordon when they conduct their operations.
It's like installing a food processor around the operational area.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. Anything that goes near it gets Cuisinarted.
Like if you are a foreign power and you are so unfortunate as to have just one battalion of airborne Rangers land inside your borders, you better be prepared to zero out one of your divisions because that is what it's going to take.
Yeah, some relentless motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They are fucking relentless.
And I was honored to be one.
Yeah. That's some crazy shit, but it's also right down the rabbit hole. Let's get back to
sorry.
BDA. Yeah.
Sorry. BDA.
Where did we go? What happened there? So this is the growing national debt. You can see 1924 is where this starts. That's right after World War I. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
$395 billion total debt there. I could tell you all kinds of stories about World War I, but it's a whole different rabbit hole that we're not going to traverse at this time. Now, here we are in 2024.
Wow.
35.46.
Let's just round it up to 36 trillion.
I mean, if you want to be fair and round it, it's 35, but
take
it a round up.
Well, I'm going to round it up because when you get to those kind of numbers, you cannot be accurate.
No.
I mean, we're sideways fucked over this. Yeah. This is not going to end well.
Yeah.
Jesus
That's the national
fucking
debt.
Christ.
Now, I was listening to a bunch of stuff on my nice long ride home that I have from work. And I got to thinking, and you hear every man, woman, and child is responsible for something like $300,000 of the national debt, et cetera.
Yeah.
And let me change the screen. This is why I need Jimmy. We need a background producer.
Yeah, well, we don't have the money for that.
I know. Jimmy's great. I love Jimmy. I just wanted to be here.
He'll be here soon enough.
So I was thinking about this, and I'm looking at this national debt, and something dawned on me. The national debt isn't ours. It's not yours or mine or you guys out there. It's not our debt. It's the debt of the government, which has spent this money, which they did not have to spend, and they continue to borrow, and they continue to take from us. And wait, what did I just say just now? They continue to take from us, which makes us, you're the finance guy. What's it called when you give somebody?
Creditor.
Oh, yeah.
We are the creditor. Yeah.
We're the creditor in this occasion, in this situation.
Yeah.
The national debt is there. The government can't owe any money to. Okay, think of it like this: you buy a car.
Yeah.
I go borrow from the bank
Uh-huh.
to buy that car, right? Do I owe the car company money for that car?
You owe the bank.
We're the bank.
Yeah, I know.
That's where
It's
we're
the three
creditor.
shell Monty.
Yes.
We've been playing this game since World War One. This
Yep.
is crazy.
No American citizen is responsible for the national debt. You are the creditors. We're the bank.
And this people are gonna
Every penny for this nation comes from us.
hang on. This is going to piss off a lot of people.
Do it.
All right. Now, if we stop giving money to all of the countries in the world,
Mhm.
right?
Oh, we're getting to that.
We
Oh,
stop
we're
giving it to UN and NATO. We got that.
Mhm.
We cut a little bit back on the defense spending, and then we basically get rid of all the parasites
Yep.
that are, drawing funds from the government who never paid into it, and then basically don't allow any tax returns, no tax refunds from the government for about a decade.
Yeah.
We could probably get the national debt paid down to about 12 trillion. That's about it.
If we cut the government down 90% back to where it should be,
Mm-hmm.
probably could do it a little faster or a little more.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say, though. We've allowed this to happen. Everyone was, so busy drinking their Bud Lights, watching the, professional sports, going to work, coming back. Occasionally, you get your dick sucked, you get your dick wet, whatever.
Yeah.
And everything was rolling along. But in the background, we have this static of these corrupt individuals spending money we don't have that you never authorized to happen. And now we are going to have to pay for that at some point.
And they continue to take 22 to 30% of your paycheck, 40% of any bonuses or overtime that you make.
Correct.
I believe 40 to 45% of any, like if you get a stock, if you make it in the
Capital
stocks,
gains.
capital gains,
Same thing for real estate.
inheritance taxes.
Which is, listen, they've already taxed the shit out of you. Whatever you have left when you decide to kick your air addiction should be left alone. That is just my opinion.
Yeah.
All right.
They want to remove the idea of inheritance. And I know I hammer on the classics a lot, but tonight's reading lesson, kiddies, is Plato's Republic, Book 1. Just the first book. It's only about 20 pages. You should be fine. Wherein you learn all about inheritance and why it's important.
Yep. Move it into a trust.
Yeah. Essentially, you can do precisely that. The U.S. has carried debt since its inception. Debts incurred during the American Revolutionary War amounted to over $75 million by January 1st, 1791. Over the next 45 years, the debt continued to grow until 1835, when it noticeably shrank due to the sale of federally owned lands and cuts to the federal budget. The Constitution specifies that the federal government shall not own lands except those necessary for military, naval bases, and Washington, D.C.
Correct.
The federal government is not allowed to own any land.
Was it Roosevelt who got around that by setting up the National Park System? Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a 100% behind the National Park
I love
System
me some national parks. Yeah.
because we're evil, hairless monkeys. We're slobs. And it is my opinion that some of these areas that are pristine need to be maintained.
But those should be run by the states. Quota est demonstrandum. The federal government fucks up everything it touches.
I can't argue with that because, when you look at the evidence, you're absolutely correct.
So, notable events triggering large spikes in the debt included the Afghanistan and Iraq wars, the 2008 Great Recession, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Why did that incur debt?
Hmm.
Oh, that's right. The government paid for all of the
shots,
ouchie stabbies.
all of the research.
Yeah, we got to be careful what word we use there.
Yes.
The ouchie stabbies. Federal debt trends over time. Just look at this. We started to pay the debt off. By Vietnam, we have paid off a huge amount of the debt. That's a balance.
We can't see the screen on there, bro.
I beg, what happened?
Are you trying to share the screen?
Oh, I didn't put the thing back on.
You didn't? Yeah,
I'm
the thing
sorry.
is not on. Yeah, there it is.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Jimmy's the guy we need for this stuff here.
Yeah, I got you. We'll get better.
I know. I'm just not as adept at it yet. So federal debt trends over time. But look at this. 1950s. Okay, that's World War I. Cost a lot of money.
That was what, 1915?
That's 1949.
That's
I'm
World
looking at
War
right
II.
there. World War II,
Yeah.
rather. World War II, rather. I misspoke. But from 62, right,
Uh-huh.
to 72, that's the big part of the Vietnam War. And look at, we paid down the national debt.
Mm-hmm. And we also had the Apollo missions going off, too.
Yeah. Yep.
And now look at it after that.
And then you hit, here's the Reagan years, and all of a sudden,
Boom.
from 84 to 88, we're going up again.
Yep.
And then we hit the Kenyan Wonder,
Yeah.
and it just goes up
Yeah.
and up and up and up. This is a crime.
But yeah,
This,
one, it's
to
a
me,
crime.
is literally a crime. It's RICO.
Well, one, it's a crime. Number two, what you're seeing there is debt from a certain party promising free shit to people to keep them voting them into office. Number one. Number two, the military industrial complex is off the chain. It needs to be reeled in.
Yes.
Okay. And on top of that, again, we have way too many parasites who haven't paid anything into the treasury of this country, but yet are taking from it, i.e. WIC, welfare, Section 8.
Yep.
Then you have child support, and Alice isn't horny any more money. And here's another case in point, child support. For every dollar that is collected in child support, $1 comes out of Social Security to reimburse the counties for collecting said child support. So that is yet another parasitic drain on our system.
Yes.
And you can thank all of the single mothers out there who want to be strong and independent, which is an illusion, while taking WIC, welfare, Section 8, and child support. Shut the hell up. Rabbit hole, continue.
Also, Pop's favorite can of worms.
Yes.
Never open that can of worms with Pop, because you will get the full show. Vaudeville, dancers, lights, fireworks, the whole 9 yards.
Listen, I'm trying to save lives, man. I'm just telling you.
No, I'm 110% with you. That's why I'm sitting here, and that's why we're doing this shit. So, oh God, I know I got to share the tab over here on the screen, over here, and there's shortcuts to this shit. I need to learn the shortcuts. It's what I need to learn.
Roger.
Foreign aid by country. Who's getting the most and how much? Maybe we should do a practice session show where I just sit here and
Yeah, we could do a rehearsal.
rehearsal. Push the button.
It's not like you're in the military and you don't do rehearsals or anything.
Did I hear push the button?
Oh,
the button.
yeah,
Hey!
right. Woo!
I
was just talking about
I was
you there.
just crying about not being able to run everything, Jimmy.
God damn it.
Freaking the rehearsals that I hated was when we were going with you guys.
Yeah.
We had to move with you. So like if you do the little lines on the floor, we did the big hanger and put tape down on the floor and everybody walk around. We'd have to walk around behind. We didn't know what we were doing. You guys you do your thing. We're like, okay.
Just follow along. Shut up. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's exactly. I can't tell how many times I said that. I know you don't understand, but just shut your mouth and just follow along.
Okay. Oh, all right.
All right.
Foreign aid by country. Who's getting the most and how much? Why?
Yeah.
Updated for 2024. Here's where U.S. foreign aid is going and how it is being used. Despite its strong association with the federal budget, foreign aid isn't just money. It's anything one country donates or provides for the benefit of another country, which means the United States and the entire rest of the world, literally. This can be money. However, foreign aid can also include goods such as food or technical support. Ask how Somalia fared with that when the warlords kept all of the food at the ports. That's what happened. That's what Gothic Serpent was all about. Most American foreign aid funds go through the U.S. Agency for International Development. Remember this name, USAID. U.S. Agency for International Development. I'm about to show you where the shell money is. Okay? This is what I told you before the show. I said I found some shit that's going to piss you off. USAID is the vehicle.
All right.
We've previously explained foreign aid and covered some popular foreign aid myths and facts. We're fact-checking now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at who receives the most foreign aid and how the U.S. is contributing to much-needed development and humanitarian activities throughout the world. These people haven't developed in 3,000 years. They're not going to develop.
Let it be.
Leave it alone.
And the countries in
Jesus.
Africa that are actually partially developed were all colonized. The ones that weren't colonized are bare bones shitholes.
Yes.
By our standard.
Ukraine was the breadbasket
of Europe.
Yep. It is a fertile, productive country with some of the oldest cities. Odessa is where the Rus, the Russian Vikings, that's where they sailed out of.
Mm-hmm.
Kyiv has been there for fucking ever. Kyiv is older than Moscow by quite a bit.
Well, once they nuke Ukraine, then Europe will starve.
Ukraine is getting all of our foreign aid on top of our military aid, on top of NATO aid, on top of UN aid. Oh, what's going on there?
On top of other countries directly donating to them as well.
A couple of months ago, I was helping a guy in Maine whose family had founded a small university in Maine, and the woke troops had his family name removed because somebody in his family had a slave or something at one point in time, or said something about eugenics. I can't remember what it was, but he was doing the research on that, and the school got this endowment, and that's what brought the woke people in and everything. So I chased that down for him. I was giving him a little bit of sidebar legal help, and I ran the money down, and get this, $2 million suddenly became available through a recent immigrant to the state who was a wealthy Ukrainian benefactor. Well, and then I discovered a bunch of other universities who had all just benefited from wealthy Ukrainian benefactors. They're funneling it through the small universities back into the states, back into the hands of the wealthy. That's the shell game that's going on here. That's why you're looking at this map here and seeing Ukraine with $15 billion being funneled to it, and all these other countries down here. Israel, of course, is always at the top of the list, but right now it's Ukraine. They're the popular kids on the block. What's really disturbing is when you do this.
Oh, fancy.
This is foreignassistance.gov. Again, all of the links.
Open source.
Open source. Yeah, this is theirs.
Mm-hmm.
You can download this data and play with it too if that's your thing. If I had more time, I would. But look at all of this. Basically, the whole world, with a couple of exceptions, is getting the United States money.
Yep.
Look at this. Why are we giving
money to China?
$897,000. It's $897,000. So that's a small amount, but
still, why
China?
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe that's gain of function.
Could be.
Yeah. India.
Half of India is here already. They live in Cleveland and in Sterling Heights now.
Now, listen, I don't have a problem with India.
No, but go
from
be
India, but we don't need to be sending them our goddamn money. Look at Africa.
2.5 million obligated to Ireland. That piqued my interest because it's the only UK country getting any of the money. Note that there's no other countries in that area getting any money, right?
Yep.
Right now, the United Nations and WEF are invading Ireland with Africans with the intent of exterminating the native Irish people. That's what's going on right now. If you look on Twitter, you can see tons of it. So what's going on there in Ireland? Oh, wait, the U.S. Agency for International Development is managing that money for Ireland. And I went and looked at that part there. Hang on. I think there's a search bar here. Oh, there it is. U.S. aid from the American people.
Are you sharing that screen or just reading it?
There
it is.
Let's type in Ireland, kiddies, and push the button. Administrator Samantha Powers of USAID,
A chick.
meets with Taoiseach of Ireland, Simon Harris. Don't try to pronounce Irish unless you know how to pronounce Irish. It'll just hurt your fucking head. Today, Administrator Samantha Power spoke with Taoiseach of Ireland's Simon Harris. They discussed the dire humanitarian crises in Gaza and Sudan, emphasizing strong concerns about the worsening scale and severity of human needs. So what's happening is we're giving money to Ireland. They're giving money to Africa, where they use some of it to feed the Africans and breathe. Remember the whole feed the world thing back in the 80s?
Yeah.
We are the world.
Yeah,
We are the children.
Again, they're weaponizing compassion against us.
What they did was breed all of those Africans to dump into our countries because the United Nations UN Population Replacement Migrant Program, which they say is a lie, but I found on UN servers in 2009 that had been there since 1997.
Wow.
The dates were there.
Uh-huh.
They bred the human carpet bombs that are being dropped on us right now. And this is how they do it. They move money around in all of these countries here.
And listen, since we are providing a lion's share of this money, you can trace where it's going and you can prosecute everyone fucking involved. And if there's a nonprofit involved in this, pull their ticket, take away their nonprofit status. Because literally, they're getting away with fucking genocide against the Western nations.
The national debt is the money that the federal government owns us. We are the creditors. At the end of the day, the federal government cannot make any money except off of tariffs, which is the way that the country was run when we began.
Yes.
All of the other money comes from us one way or another through taxes or our labor. We are the creditors. The federal government are the debtors in this situation. Once you get that into your head, you start to realize just how nefarious this really is. There are 15,000 activities going on here in 210 countries and regions around the world.
Wow.
What possible reason could we have to be involved in all of those countries? This doesn't even make sense strategically. It
makes sense if you just want to eradicate the United States.
Yes. Drain off
its
its wealth.
Subjugate the entire planet.
Yep. Drain off its wealth and put it in the hands of a small group of people who may or may not be concentrated around places like Davos, Brussels, Rome, Washington, D.C., or London.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Probably Paris.
I mean, if I was going to take over the world and I had unlimited funds, this is how I would do it.
Yeah. It's a perfect shell game. Look at the damn map. It's freaking insane.
Wow. Are you pissed yet? Because I'm pissed.
Yeah.
And this has been going on for decades.
Yeah. Now that we've established that the United States government is ripping us all off and spreading our money across the world to bring it back to their own pockets through small universities in the United States, unseen. Let's get to this other little issue here as we start to run out of time-ish. Oh, Jimmy's here. I don't have to push buttons. Jimmy, I love you. I owe you a beer. No homo.
Good.
This,
I'll take that beer.
I'll take the beer, no homo. This was not a surprise. Pentagon again fails annual audit of $3.8 trillion in military assets.
It's been going on since 1999.
Pentagon has again failed its independent annual audit, mainly because defense officials could not provide auditors with enough information to form a full accounting evaluation, according to the Defense Department's yearly financial report.
Also, the standard for the DoD audit comes from, where is it?
Oh, you brought the standard up. That's right.
Hang on. Let's see. DoD auditing standards is based upon U.S. Code Title V, Appendix 3, in regards to all audit services performed by DoD. There you go. I haven't read that, but I'm sure it's a bunch of word salad. They haven't done it. I don't think they passed the audit since the late 90s.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is that money going? What black operations are going on that we can't know about? I mean,
I would wager none. I would wager it's all going into the shell game.
I would
coming
say,
back to their pockets.
Well, I would say it's going into the shell game. I know alphabet agencies have black op money that is off the books.
I don't know anything.
We
about
need to have some fucking oversight over this shit because this is getting out of hand.
I have no knowledge of any such activity, nor could I condone any such activity should I have knowledge of it.
I got you. Standard answer. I understand.
Yes, we really say shit like that. Said shit like that. Past tense. Been 20 years.
Yeah.
If you were a CFO of a major company of, like one of the biggest nations on the face of the earth, and you failed your budget audit like this to the tune of $3.8 trillion in assets and $4 trillion in liabilities,
you are going to jail.
You're not just getting fired at that point. You're going to jail.
Yes.
We never hold
anyone accountable.
People accountable for
Jesus.
Any of this shit. Our country would be a paradise if any of this money could be reined in and we could stop the flood of illegals, reverse the United States back to 1965 era population. I mean, we did the show on it. Our population is fine, statistically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
We're where we should be. But because of the influx of human carpet bombs, we're screwed.
That has to be reversed.
And because all of our money is being bled off in foreign assistance, we're screwed. And we're paying, I think it's like $6 or $7 a gallon for gas in California.
Well, they did it to themselves by passing some stupid.
California's crazy. That place is just
well, first of all, if you want to find out exactly what's going to happen to this country if the left ever gets to the wheel again, just look at California and look at New York.
Yep. And Minneapolis.
And Chicago.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, Newsom is threatening to secede California from the nation. So, I'm torn. I'm in favor for it, but then again, I'm not in favor for it.
Most of the counties in California are Republican, and they won't stand for that shit.
You can tell exactly where the divide is, and it's right where the Sierra Nevada mountain range is.
Well,
you have the coastal, and then you have the farm. You have the farm and the mountain range.
Yeah.
There's a big Pacific Northwest secession movement as well, where they want to form New Idaho or something like that.
Greater Idaho.
That's in Washington State and Oregon.
Yeah. And Idaho, obviously.
Yep, because the people in the red counties are sick and tired of Portland and Seattle running the show.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are getting really tired of that stuff. So we could see some redivided lines in the United States, potentially. Well, I don't know, but I mean, it's not off the table.
No, my thing is this. We need to get a hold on this wasteful spending.
Yep.
We need to get a hold of this corruption.
Yep.
I mean, listen, Nancy Pelosi has been touting that she's outperformed the stock market by like 60 some odd % for decades.
It's an impossibility.
Yeah, it's an absolute.
You had specific knowledge.
Yeah, Martha Stewart did 2 years in a low priority prison. She was convicted of a felon
Yes.
because she got a stock tip from somebody who was in the know.
Yeah.
And this has been going on. This needs to be stopped.
One other critical item. No foreign person or entity may own any property, land, or business within the United States of America.
Correct.
You may lease, rent, and do business here, but you cannot own an American business or 1 inch of U.S. soil.
And we need to bring, man, there needs to be so much change.
Yep.
I just can't believe it's gotten this bad.
Hopefully
Remember the 80s when we thought everything was great?
Listen, I'm blessed to have grown up in the 70s and 80s.
Yep. Same.
Yep.
Hopefully the Department of Government Efficiency, aka Doge, headed by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, can
well, we'll see. Listen, I don't put my faith in any one basket because
No.
I'm disappointed too many times.
Yeah. Let's
Yep.
see. Let's see if they can.
Money talks and bullshit fucking walks.
Yes.
Save the money and spare us the bullshit.
Yeah.
hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
That's exactly what I always do.
So, in responsible statecraft, are we got the screen there? Yeah, we do. There we go. Okay. We have a very mysteriously creepy graphic that looks a little like a creepy butt plug, and I don't know why they did that, but I get the money metaphor. I see that. I see you. Pentagon can't account for 63% of nearly $4 trillion in assets. DoD
Wait, whoa. Say that again. What's the percentage?
63%.
All right. Typically, when numbers that big, I could give you latitude plus or minus 5%. But 60%? Are you out of your goddamn mind? Holy shit, that's over half. Why? Oh my God. People should be getting lined up and questioned. Maybe some people need some tactical baptisms going on. Where is that fucking money? God damn it. All right. Sorry.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Do you need a hug?
I mean, there's no excuse for that.
No, you're absolutely 110% correct. Pentagon failed its 6th audit in a row last month, and failed is putting it generously. The department actually received a disclaimer of opinion, according to the Government Accountability Office, that means auditors were unable to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence to provide a basis for an audit opinion. So the outcome is more likely incomplete than an abject failure. Nonsense.
Yeah.
That is word salad. That is lawyers ducking, bobbing, and weaving. The F-35 program, this is why I selected this article here. It's trying to tell us it wants a newsletter. I don't care. The F-35 program is a great example. The Pentagon technically owns the global pool of spare parts for all variations of the F-35, but the program's contractors, mainly Lockheed Martin and Pratt & Whitney, who makes engines, manage those parts. According to GAO, the Pentagon relies on contractors to record the costs, total quality, and locations of F-35 spare parts in the global spares pool. Are you ready for this one? The department has estimated the value of F-35 parts in the possession of contractors is over $220 billion. The GAO reports this is likely significantly understated. The Pentagon doesn't know what or how much government property contractors have because it doesn't have access to contractor records.
All right. Yeah, that's, oh my God. 60%. So basically 60 cents out of every dollar that you're taxed that goes to the Department of Defense is somewhere in the ether and it can't be accounted for. That is a recipe for disaster and corruption if ever I heard one.
Yeah. So it is estimated to take 450,000 labor hours to produce the reports necessary for this. Get the TPS reports ready and your red Boston swing line stapler.
Yes.
We're going to be at it for a minute. This here is a perfect demonstration.
What was the cost on that? It's like $150 million just to do a failed audit.
Right. This here demonstrates nicely what I have said before. Everybody's worried about surveillance. Okay. The technology is there, but the manpower and the man hours to do the surveillance to watch all of us is not there
yet.
Okay. That's why they pick and choose. And even when I was doing MI and he was doing the soft shit, you can't hit every target. So you've got to very selectively choose specific
You got to
targets.
prioritize.
big time. This is a huge ball of wax, and we were at the 934 mark.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's time to audit the
audit.
super chats.
Yeah. Want to fail the audit?
Let's fail this. Jimmy, start failing super chats.
That I think I can do.
Son of a bitch. I'm exhausted. I'm nowhere near done with this, but
yeah, I'm gonna have to take a blood pressure pill after this.
Yeah, hit it, Jimmy.
Definitely. All righty, jumping over to the YouTubes there. It looks like I did do a couple refreshes on there. So if we did miss one from you guys over on YouTube, I apologize. There's only one from Shark Dentures here with $5. Says, remember, you don't need to believe in war because war believes in you.
Same thing with evil.
Yeah, it's really true.
And we do have an acceptable ratio over there from likes to viewers. We got 678 to 410 over there.
Okay.
Doing that, alrighty. And you guys will have to double check the Rumble chat here for me, but I am going to read the first one from Trooper 94. He's dropping a hundo down on us.
Thank you so much.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
So we've got MX Stiller for $2. Shalom, Big Town Brothers. Love and peace for Boston. There are still Patriots here, perhaps in the minority for now, but we are here. Raging Sailor throws us $2. Says, Black found our secret space fleet and for the Stargate program. You okay, man?
Well, listen.
What's he talking about? Do you know?
He's talking about there's like rumors that we have a space fleet and all this other high-tech shit out there.
Oh, yeah. There were the guys who testified that we have aliens.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that could be where some of the money is. If that's the case, just disclose it to the public and let's just get it over with. Rip the Band-Aid off so we could deal with it.
A lot of it is pocket lining.
I think so, too.
A lot of it is pocket lining.
Yeah.
MX Stilgar shows up and says, Worcester, Mass is pronounced Worcester. Just saying. Peace. Worcester?
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Sure. K-Note asks me, do you prefer a sweet or dry mead? I make dry meads. I am not a big fan of sweet. I do, however, like German Gewürztraminer, which is a sweet white wine that they make in winter.
Yeah, and we're actually trying to put together a mead company that we can sell mead to people.
We're pretty much there.
Well, we don't have the volume yet.
I know, but Law Dog is getting the paperwork in order.
Good.
We will have the volume. We're going to start out small.
Yep.
Anyway, Alucard throws $5 at us. Says, Pop the dog man called. She likes it when you, Jimmy, sing pop.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh, singing pop. Here we go.
God damn it. God damn it.
That's just funny every time. And we are caught up to Trooper's C note, Jimmy.
Alrighty there. And Trooper, he comes up and says, Hey, Pop, crypto's doing good. Thought I'd share the wealth. As soon as I jumped in, you guys mentioned paranormal, and it reminded me of a story. I had check email of the Trooper Quick Paranormal.
Roger.
Ready? Let me go.
Hang on. I see it. How long is it?
Let's see here. Let me... Trooper, just a couple paragraphs. We can burn through this.
Okay.
It says, hey, Pop, I'm going to write up an email of pretty shitty experience I had with my mom over the last weekend, but literally just as I tuned in tonight, you mentioned paranormal stories, so here goes. In case you forgot, the dumb fuck that likes street racing, don't worry, I officially gave it up. Last time I went out about 6 months ago, I almost spun out into a ditch. Anyways, it has to do with my dumb hobby. 4 years ago, 3 a.m., couldn't sleep. I'll head into work way early and grab a coffee. At this time of the hour, the roads are dead empty. I hop in the Cavalier. I hop in the Cavalier. I wrapped around a tree just 3 months later, and start in blazing. I'm hitting 170 kilometers per hour in the straights and hitting corners hard. Phrasing. I'm going around a heavy wooded corner on an S-bend, and all of a sudden I see a girl on a bike.
Oh,
My heart dropped like someone dropped a cinder block on it. Luckily for me, I had to drop a lot of speed to take the corner. So I did a quick swerve into the left and ducked my head. Unfortunately, I heard an impact on my right side. I jammed the brakes and I skid to a stop, fucking panicking. I
yeah.
got out and my worst fear realized, being reckless, I just hurt or killed someone. I turned back and there's nothing. I searched the right ditch, no sign of anything. No girl, no bike. Not even any kind of incident in the brush. Right side of my car, flawless. Thoroughly confused and spun up, I walked back to my car, and that's when I saw it. A little wooden cross on the side of the road.
Ooh. Well, that's actually fairly common.
Wow.
Jeez, that gave me the shivers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's write that up in detail. I'm gonna cover that on the next paranormal pod.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. Oh, looks like Gerald Powell back over on the YouTubes. He's giving us a birdie with a thumbs up for $3.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Looks like a pear-shaped bird.
A pear-shaped bird.
Pear-shaped bird. There you go. All right, we'll jump back over to the Rumbles. See, MX Stilgar, shalom, gents. Jimmy, please check email for subject, the faces you make when Russia invades the country that launders your money, and show it full screen. No Orn Pay danger, I promise.
You better.
All righty, let me.
Trust Stilgar.
Oh yeah, Jerry's pretty good with that. Let's see here.
I see it.
That's never bit us on the.
All right, let me see if I can get this to work, because Brave Browser has been fucking up recently here. You can realize that I don't have my full screen background there, because
one thing is always true of Army guys, Jimmy. The guys that you would trust 110% with your life on the line will always leave a bright pink dildo in the middle of your layout palette for battalion.
Yeah.
There you go. And here's the meme from Jerry there. The faces you make when Rush. Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
That's
true.
That is very true. Very, very true. All right. Jump back into the Rumble here. We got Jerry come back in and says, Pop, have you shared stories of your service in Iraq turning your hair white? Tulsi Gabbard has shared that her gray streak in her gorgeous raven hair is from her deployment in Iraq as well.
Oh, shut the hell up.
Oh, my hair went white when I came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure Tulsi Gabbard saw all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not listen, you know how I am about officers, and I'm even less enthused with female officers.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Next one coming up is Berserker Brad, 1983 for $41. There you go. Here's my weekly contribution. The 18th was my birthday. Oh, happy belated birthday. Okay. Says the dollar amount is my age and years. Good show tonight, Pop and Battle Dwarf. Thanks again.
Happy falling out of the vagina day. And may you circle Big Orange Bob one more time.
Yeah.
Big Orange Bob.
Mm-hmm. Big Orange Ball Bob.
Two, Jimmy.
Did I? No, I don't think I missed one.
Zurian for $5 and Kuro Ninja. Did you get those two?
Those two are not showing up on my end.
There you have. Zurian for $5 says we need to cut the UN no more money into other crap except to America and its citizens. Totally agree.
Yep.
Kuro Ninja Double Aught sends a $5 and says, "Hey Pop and Battle Dwarf, wouldn't it be better to Trump to send a surprise message to UN members by cutting funding to them since they are a paper tiger? It's like 400 billion. Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Yeah. Let's see. Angry Gringo LLC. I like that name.
Yeah.
That's a new name I haven't seen yet. It says, Pop, the debt will never be repaid. When you combine foreign debt, unfunded liabilities, or entitlements, the derivatives and the actual amount are in the quadrillions.
Oh, well. That's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
This is bad. This is bad, right?
The problem is we can't do nothing, which is what we have been doing.
Yes.
Yep. Let's see. Tantalum 180 says, $5 says, Federal Reserve fiat is an imaginary debt, especially after the removal of the gold standard. Screw paying it off. Imaginary money, imaginary debt. The Fed is the largest and most egregious parasite.
I think you missed the point, man. The thing that I said was we are the creditors. The federal government are the debtors. They owe us that money.
Yep. Like you mentioned earlier, it's a 3-shell Monty game.
Yep.
Well, it's the winners, in quotations, always get paid out. The losers, us taxpayers that fund the government, well, we get the dildo of consequences, and we all know the dildo of consequences
Rarely
comes
rises lubed.
Yep.
Yes. The whole every man, woman, and child thing about the national debt is just gaslighting.
Yep. Let's see. Moving on here. Tomahawk with $10 says, "Excellent show as always, gentlemen. Rage-inducing, but excellent nonetheless."
We aim to induce your rage. That is
Well, the truth usually is not kind.
exactly.
Yep. Let's see. We got Shred Eagle here with $10 says, Let me try this. What's up, you gopher groping grunt goblins? I've nothing to add. Just want to hear how bad Jimmy's going to butcher that. I did all right.
Right into it.
You did okay.
All right. Says, "Love you, Jimmy. No homo." Hell yeah, that's all right. Says, "Just take my money and give us some cat land." All righty. Where's it at? Here it is.
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Stop!
The dancing cats fucking kills me.
I know the dancing cats is ingenious.
Never gets old.
No, it doesn't.
Nope. Let's see. MGTOW Mando, good to see you there, good sir. We got $5. Says, "Dwarf, they are doing this because we are dirty whites who need to be guilty for our privilege for being so successful."
Yeah, well, we're good at
Yeah.
war.
And he's also asking for the shining pop, but we've already had singing
One singing pop
once.
per night, please.
One per night. You know what? You did say singing pop, but well, let's see here. Well, we could do this one.
Green screen abuse, man.
There you go. Hope that makes up for Mando. See, we got a Zirian for $2. Says, "We the citizens should bring out the belts and whoop their butts for treason acts."
Yeah, you're nicer than I am.
All right. We can't go into detail.
Considerably so.
Like I did come up with a saying: always hold a politician's feet to the fire, because if not, you show them the tub of tar that is right next to their feet.
Uh-huh.
Make tarring and feathering great again. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Let's see. K note here with 72 says, "Pop, Oregon. Just pronounce it like organ."
Oregon?
Oregon. You said Oregon.
Oregon. Yeah, whatever. Same
There
thing.
you go.
Pop will never pronounce every word correctly. It's just the way that it is. You're just going to have to accept it.
Sometimes I put a comedic slant on them, like divorce.
divorce. Yeah.
Someone's
You are the dyslexicist, though.
Yep. And Mando coming back says, "Jimmy, Pop said the name. Give him a dancing Hillary or dancing Nancy."
God damn it.
Oh, God. Which one do I click? Oh, God. Oh, God.
Ah,
God. Even those are torture for me, guys. Come on. I'm the one that has to push the button. It's even worse. Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see. Jerry Conway coming back in says, "Gents, September 10th, 2001, Donald Rumsfeld announced the loss of 2.3 trillion a day before the Pentagon was hit by a missile."
Yep.
yes.
No cover up there, right?
Yep.
Ah, dude.
Again, a mission like that does not get planned in a day.
Or a
Those take
vacuum.
a long time.
Or a vacuum.
Yeah.
You are correct. K-Note 72 coming back with a buck. He says, I asked about the mead because my first batch is dry and turned out good according to my roommates. Might send some for your opinion. I'm still relatively new to the mead
By
and
all
dry.
means. The longer you let it mature, the more dry it will become. I don't like things that just taste like sugar. And
Actually, it's
a
6
drier
months.
mead seems to be a nicer thing.
And the thing that makes mead expensive is it takes a minimum of 6 months before it's palatable. I shouldn't say palatable, before it's good.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there's actually a...
After 2 months, but it's not.
It molds.
Yep.
Well, that and it's caustic. It's astringent.
Yeah. Sorry, we're
Anyway.
going off in the weeds.
All right, let's see here. Moving on here. Professor Blake, Plu-Ass Bastard 3000. He's got a request.
Ruh-roh.
That one is horrible.
That is really horrible.
I like how Battledorf didn't even look at the screen there. Unless
No,
he's got it pulled
Battledorf
up on the
did
other
not.
one.
One of the monitors is locked up right now, trying to figure out why. And never mind.
What?
It'll be fine.
Oh, goody.
Yep.
Let's see.
This one is just the monitor is just not doing anything. It's okay.
We'll figure it out
Don't
later.
need it right now.
Okay.
Professor Blake coming back in and says, pop question. Should we just get out of everything and point the guns out if anyone tries to invade the USA?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Bring all of the troops back from around all of the foreign bases that we have and put them on the southern and northern border.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, if we stop sending out all of the foreign aid within 40 years, a lot of those populations will shrink because they're artificially, engorged because we're sending them money and food.
That's correct. Also, if we brought all of our military back, we wouldn't need a 1,000,000-man army.
Nope.
Wouldn't need it.
Yeah.
You keep a core cadre, and in times of war, you train people up.
Yeah. I don't know.
Let's see. Jerry Conway come back in
Yeah.
says, you missed this one. Shalom, gentlemen. I'm relatively new supporter, so pardon me if you have already read this one or done this one. Would you consider subscriber movie night with a 1984 version of Red Dawn?
Oh, I'd do a Red Dawn.
That would be a good one.
I like that movie.
19.
Yeah, the Patrick Swayze version.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Yeah.
That would be. We'll have to get with Blake there. That one. We'll have to talk
Yeah.
that one. See, Alicard 1776 says, just ordered a deep cycle battery for my power system of my bike cart and bike.
All right.
All right.
Nice.
I use deep cycle batteries on my chicken roost.
Nice.
My chickens have their own power supply.
See, Broken Pine 284, good to see you here, good sir. Says, hey, Pop, always like the Abu Ghraib stories. Here's some fake and gay Canadian money.
Oh,
Thanks, man.
thanks for the loonies.
And Mando saying, Jimbo, the substitution was acceptable. Winning. And Trooper 94 coming back in says, honestly, ain't much else to tell from my story. It was a blonde girl, looked about 15, didn't see the face.
Wow.
Double checked obituaries the next 2 weeks and nothing, just to make sure it haven't seen her since.
Yeah, that will tighten the sphincter to diamond producing levels, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
All right. So we got LB Weaver here says, Jimmy Bones, I love the Hillary at the trailer with the pancake tits.
God.
You're one of few because we all despise that, but it's fucking hilarious.
That's nasty.
Nasty. And Tomahawk here with $5 says, making Reuben sandwiches with crockpot corned beef. Wish there was a way to share with you guys and everyone in chat.
My Quixotic quest is the perfect Reuben sandwich.
Mm.
And the two best Reuben sandwiches I ever had, one was Wolfie's on Miami Beach. The other was the Oak Park Deli.
Oh, I remember that.
Both places are gone now.
That was what, a 9 Mile?
9 and Greenfield or
Yes.
somewhere thereabouts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of those places are gone now. So I am on a quest for the perfect Reuben.
Yeah.
Fun fact: the Reuben is the state sandwich of my state.
Oh, well, look at that, Jimmy. You do live in a quality place.
I do like. I did have a pretty decent Reuben the couple weeks ago. Let's see. Jump back over here. We had one more over on the YouTube side from Dale Grizzle for $1.99. Says the economy is propped up. We in a fantasy.
Yes, we are.
Yes, you are. Sadly, you are correct.
Yep. Let's see. Raging Sailor coming back on the Rumble says, speaking of Canuck money, look at the new coins with the Kingston portrait. Looks more like George Bush than Charles.
Oops.
Someone fucked up. All right. We'll jump over here to the MGTOW side of things. Here we got Joe Mama. But can you comment on what you think of, quote, the man on the street in South Korea feels what happened to Mr. Johnny, quote, Desecrate Comfort Women Memorial Somali?
Oh, I can tell you right now that if he was in Korea when I was there, I probably would have not made it out of the country in time because there weren't cameras everywhere, and the Koreans take that particular thing very personally. He's pretty lucky to be intact, and if he goes into a Korean prison, he's going to have a bad day.
It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
This is bad. This is bad, right?
So once you go into a Korean prison, you don't have rights.
Hang on. So he went to another country and desecrated a statue like they do here in America. What could go wrong?
He desecrated the statue dedicated to the women who were used as sex slaves by the Japanese during the occupation.
I know. Well, what could go wrong, huh?
Right.
Well, that, and he's also, live stream harassing people on the streets and whatnot, and then he got his ass beat for that. So, no sympathy.
He's the girlfriend of a Korean SEAL, and those guys have hair triggers.
No sympathy for stupidity.
No. If he goes into a Korean prison, he is going to be one very unhappy fellow.
There you go. And we got Dark Bad Dog 21 here with $2 says, Pop, a wounded animal is more dangerous than a healthy one.
Yes.
Canada is going full WEF tard with all parties wanting more third worlders. Sorry. Indians. Calistani is taken over with bladed weapons in white unarmed suburbs. Moosies in BC for Sharia, and Biden gift of illegals moving upwards towards Canada. Trudeau will lose the election, and Calistini terrorists have been brought since Trudeau's father, with zero deportations since then. And the UK is getting even worse.
Yeah.
Yep. It's going to get violent, man.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
It's going to get bad. It's going to get bad. The boatman here with $2 says, just called 2 chickens the other day. It wasn't that hard, really. If I can do it, you can do it. If you are still living in a city, you are wrong. If you can't harvest your own food, you won't stand a chance on the oncoming financial collapse. Keep on going, Pop. Also, I like how you guys are finally coming on board with TFM's taxpayer voter system. Guy might be out there, but he has some good points.
He does have good points. I don't really criticize a lot of what he has to say.
Who?
Turd Flinging Monkey.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. As the saying goes, a broken clock is right twice a day. So
I would say he's right more than that. I don't agree with everything he has to say, but I don't agree with 100% of most people. So there you go.
Agreeing with a person 100% of the time does not make them a scholar. It makes you a fool.
A cult.
Yep.
You're in a cult.
And we got Transformational Synergy here with $15. Says, thanks, guys. Thank you. Good, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
And we got MGTOW Ronin, $5. Says, evening, gents. Thank you for all you do. Battle Dwarf, blue states and blue cities are threatening to resist the deportation effort for illegal migrants. The new border czar, Tom Homan, is threatening to arrest and prosecute any individuals in any of these states and cities for them aiding and abetting fugitives, i.e. illegal immigrants.
Harboring an illegal alien is a felony crime, and I want to see him put his money where his mouth is.
Yep.
I would enjoy that show.
Yep. Yeah. He finishes off here with limp-wristed liberals are threatening protests. but this Tom Homan sounds like he's not fucking around. What do you think will happen?
Show me the money.
That's right.
Period.
Money
Yep.
talks and bullshit walks.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Let's see here. Let me do a quick refresh over on the Odyssey side. See if there's anything over there. We got one over there from the biggest mouthful that anyone can think of. Well, there is a bigger mouthful that Barry likes to have.
Crazy.
And of course, it's Big Mike's raging rectum wrecking purple-headed penis prostate punisher. Ugh. Yeah, that's a mouthful.
That's
Well, Hobbit, wasn't Kiev the capital of Russia for a while? Moscow was a little backwater town.
I would have to check to be certain, but I think for a period of time that it was. All I know is Kiev is ancient, as is Odessa. Those are some old cities.
Yep. That is correctamundo. Let's see here. We'll jump over, see how many we got. Got 8 over watching over on the Twitch side of things. And 7 over on the D Lives.
All right.
And let's see here. Let me click on that. And we got the funny number watching over on Twitter. We got 69 over there.
All right.
Larf.
Nice.
But the numbers on Twitter are improving.
Yeah, they are.
They have been. They've been going up and down a little bit, but hey, more eyeballs are more eyeballs on there. And jumping over to the cash apps here, we got Crunch Muncher. We sends $25. Says go from 553 to 556. Need another round in the chamber.
Well, we're waiting on a couple emails, so we'll see.
Yeah.
There you go. And I got $5 from HKC saying, glad you liked the card.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good deal.
Alrighty, and jumping up, next one's from Vincent Van Gogh. Fuck yourself. Good to see you, good sir. For $10, says Andrew Jackson, I heard, got rid of the national debt. The only from my knowledge, the only time the United States was not in debt was when Andrew Jackson was running the show.
Yes, that is correct.
Yep. And Vincent throws another $5, says, which is part of why he's demonized in school.
No.
Well,
Who would want to make debt a good thing? What kind of people would do that?
Well, actually, when you look at it from a fiscal side, having a little bit of debt is not a bad thing.
Yep.
Nobody likes you.
I'm just saying.
And Vincent coming back again with another $5. He says he was against the idea of central banks.
As we should be. Anytime you centralize anything in a nation, you consolidate power. Anytime you consolidate power, it invariably leads to, well, look around.
Family court.
What?
Tax court.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let's see. Dead Coyote, he's throwing us $20 on the Cash App, says, always enjoy the content. Keep it up. Giving us a salute.
Thank you, sir.
We're trying, man.
Yeah.
We got new stuff coming in.
Yep. And we got $10 from Lynn, says, wasted money. Take some of mine. Announcer Bones. Hey.
All right.
Looks like we had a fellow friendly from the SWF there coming in. That's always a good time hanging out with those guys doing that show. All righty, let me do one more quick sweep of the super chats here. Looks like nothing else on the U-boob side. Let's see here. Yep, we got a couple more. Oh, looks like Alley Card 1776 says, Pop, the dog man is looking for you. She wants. Oh, okay. Yep. That's messing.
Yeah, you got a loop.
There's that duplicate.
You got a
You
loop.
got a loop.
Yep. And Alley Card saying he likes messing with Pop. Who doesn't?
That's true.
It's all
That's
good.
fine.
Is it still locked up?
I'm dealing with it.
All right. Just reboot it then.
Shh. Everything's fine.
And Professor Blake coming back says, Pop, we should have a 24-hour purge in the United States to get rid of certain things.
All right. You're not going to settle all the problems in 24 hours. If this thing turns into a mob civil war kind of thing, it's going to go on for 2 to 6 years, and by the time it's done, there's going to be a lot of people wiped out.
Yeah.
All of the people who are type 1 diabetic who need insulin, they're gone. All of the elderly who are infirm will be gone within 18 months.
85% of the people on SSRIs.
Yes, gone. It's going to be brutal.
It's going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
And Alley Card coming back says, here's an idea. Cut those cities for a day or two.
Yeah, if you really want to teach lessons, you have to go like a little longer than that, like 90 days.
Yep. I believe, I can't remember where I heard this from, but you cut all power, all utilities in the major cities, 72 hours, and then that's when shit breaks down.
Well, 72 hours is when it begins.
Yep.
They need a moment to realize it. They need a moment for the panic to set in.
Yeah.
They need a moment for the desperation.
Yep. So,
And then there's going to be some pleading, and then everything is going to come off the rails.
and that'll take about 7 days.
Yes.
Yep. So you got MGTOW Mando coming back. $2 says, Dwarf, most European cities are ancient. Most of them have been around since before Washington was a Twinkie in London's eyes.
Yep.
I am very aware of it. I am pretty well read on such things. And one of my favorite topics is Julius Caesar's efforts in Gaul, wherein you learn that all of these cities have been around for a very, very long time. And Lake Geneva was Lake Geneva in 51 BC. So there's that.
Yep. Next
There you
one.
go. And LB Weaver says, make deck great again. No,
No, thank you.
I will pass. Alrighty. Do one more quick refresh over on the Odyssey side here and double check the MGTOW side. Doesn't look like nothing new on MGTOW. And Odyssey is all caught up.
All right.
And no more cash apps. So, gentlemen, I believe we're ready to end the night.
All right. Safety briefing. All right. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and swim. Never works out. If you must fornicate, wear a condom, take it with you, or flush it down the toilet, watch it go all the way, because child support does last 18 to 21 years, and the ladies of today do not care about you at all. Rack up, pack up, and stack up. There's always safety in numbers, and maintain your situational awareness, because if somebody is going to attack you, your environment will have changed, and it's your responsibility to see it for yourself. And last but not least, I'm sick and tired of throwing you guys in the dirt because you're making permanent solutions to temporary problems. Stay in the fight, play the long game, and if all else fails, live out of motherfucking spite.
Yes.
There you go.
Alrighty. Battledorf, your final words for the night.
I have an idea, guys. Find me the worst possible Christmas cards you can find and send them to the box so that we can bombard Pop with bad Christmas cards and put them on the wall behind him. Let's start a new tradition of bad Pop Christmas cards.
Yeah, and I have to inventory, but around in the lair, I got a bunch of old shirts. I need to, I don't want to throw them away or give them.
Yeah.
Give them to the. I want to just sell them. So I'm going to we have large and extra larges. There's no smalls or super, gravitationally challenged models.
Old model shirts?
Remember the ones with the tabs?
Yeah.
I got like 3 boxes of them.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
And they're I got to get rid of them.
Okay.
I got to turn that one room into another studio because we got to add some different content. I got to bring in
right.
the bullshido and the green screen.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, Battledorf, you gave me an idea, and I'm pretty sure, and Pop is going to hate me if I can find the right Christmas card for it.
Oh, fuck you.
Keck.
It's going to be funny. But we're not going to end the night with Cootie Juices on our dishes. We're going to end the night with some Jeffrey Paul tunes. Yes,
All
it
right.
is a countdown, but you know what? We love Jeffrey Paul, and we love you. No homo. Take it easy.